Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman, my man, Mike Antonis. Mike, what's happening?
Oh, just enjoying the day off, throwing a couple cold ones back. Got some Coors Light, Mountain Made. Gotta love it.
Yeah, you gotta love this heat wave too, right, Mike?
Oh, I fucking despise it. People are like, how could I hate summer? And then I show them a day like today, or yesterday, or the day before.
It's just too much, bro. I can't do it after a while.
Yeah, like this 90-degree and humid, like swimming in the air.
Yeah,
like it's miserable.
Yeah, it's too hot. I don't mind it, and it's not terrible, but after a couple of days, you go out and work out and this stuff, and you just get tired. I'm like, listen, man, I used to do football 2 days and all that. I don't miss it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people always like, man, don't you miss it? And I'm like, yeah, I miss playing games. But you ask any player, we don't miss that.
Right.
But anyways, it's been hot in the NBA streets today, Mike. It's been real hot.
Hot in the streets.
Hot in the streets, man. As the LA Lakers, Mike, breaking news today, have hired JJ Redick. We got hope, Mike. I mean, if we keep doing a podcast, we might get shot at a head coaching job somewhere.
I know. Who knows? I mean, I'd happily coach the Pelicans. I mean, I'm sure I can't do any worse than there.
I mean, if you can draw up some Scrabble on a podcast, you can draw up Floppy and
yeah. I mean, if the NFL goes the same way here, Jim Irsay, call me, dude. I'll be the head coach of the Colts.
Yeah, I mean,
he let Jeff Saturday do it.
A 4-year, I think $32 million contract, Mike, for JJ Redick who's never coached besides the YMCA league. I have more coach experience than JJ Redick, believe it or not. I mean, your thoughts, Mike, on JJ Redick being the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the biggest brands and franchises in all sports?
I don't even really know what to think. I think part of me thinks it's a desperate bid to like keep LeBron, but I don't know why they think this would be a good idea. Like, I want to know what they're thinking. Like, I can't see this going well. I mean, especially because even if like the Lakers haven't been a good team in a couple of years. I mean, yeah, they might have Anthony Davis still, or they might have LeBron still, but if those guys leave, you're putting a rookie coach in a pretty bad position because it's not like the Lakers have any decent picks to get young talent there. I mean, if AD and LeBron leave, what are the Lakers even like? Who's their best player? Austin Reeves,
Rui Hachimura.
I mean, I like those guys. I like Rui Hachimura. He's a great sixth man, but like, I just don't know what the Lakers are doing.
I don't either. I am I surprised they did it? No, because it's LA. But I did for a while. I thought they were going to go to the James Borrego route because Rich Paul said they should hire for Anthony Davis and not LeBron, and James Borrego is the guy AD wanted over JJ Redick. That's been reported. And so when the Dan Hurley thing went down, I was thinking, okay, now they're going right down the middle. I think everybody would like Dan Hurley. Even LeBron signed off on it, or he called Dan Hurley by Dan Hurley. We heard it that night. We did the live last week that Dan Hurley or LeBron told Dan that he was okay with that if he stayed there. But I think they got desperate. I think they caved. I think there was a lot of media pressure too to get this done. Obviously, JJ Redick works in the media. He's got a lot of friends in the media. They were pushing for him. I just Listen, man, I don't get it. He's a first-time head coach. Not saying he could be a bad coach one day, but
No, I mean he might. Who knows? I mean,
a first-time head coach who's never coached anything, walking into the Los Angeles Lakers job, I just don't see it working long term personally, and especially if LeBron stays there. And now a lot of people are assuming this means LeBron staying, or that LeBron pushed this, LeBron did that. LeBron has said all along that he's made it a point too, and so is his agent, to separate him from whatever they do. And so it's been proven at the podcast that him and JJ did. That was planned a long time ago. That was like 2 years in advance in planning to get that done. So I don't think LeBron 2 years ago was thinking this is going to be a ploy for me to get JJ as my coach 2 years from now. I just don't see that happening like a lot of people think. I actually think, believe it or not, Mike, somebody said something today, of all people, Nick Wright.
Nick Wright.
I thought what Nick, he was Nick Wright today, though. I thought what Nick Wright said today on his show when this news broke, Mike, I thought he hit the nail on the head right here. And he's the only one that said it today. And take a listen here and let me know what you think.
I acknowledge that my opinion on this seems to be out of step with nearly everyone else. So sometimes that just means I'm on the cutting edge, but sometimes it means I'm wrong. Right? No. Sometimes it means I'm wrong. I think that LeBron can really enjoy talking basketball with him and respect his basketball knowledge, but also as one of the smartest players ever, and a guy who has had kind of every different type of coach you can have. He's been in the league so long. He had a great coach in Spo. He had Ty Lue, who was an unknown, and not unknown, but an unproven, who has now proven to be a great coach. A guy came over from Europe who didn't work, and David Blatt, a retread, and Vogel had every type. I think he knows what makes and doesn't make a good head coach, and someone who can get through to not only the best players, but the most out of the other players. I think that is asking a lot of JJ Redick. I think that it is. And if you're
just because he doesn't have any experience?
Yes, because.
So do you think LeBron's disappointed?
I think that LeBron James did not want to be in a position where I have to choose to either leave Los Angeles or put the last couple years of my career in the hands of the least experienced coach in NBA history. I do not believe when LeBron started, and I know that this is again out of step with what a lot of people think. And I don't know what you think on this one, Brew. I do not think when LeBron started this podcast with JJ Redick, he was like, "This is the first domino to him being my head coach."
I agree.
So I don't think LeBron, when things were clearly going the wrong way with Darvin Ham, thought, whomever it is, my next head coach is going to be the least experienced head coach arguably ever and younger than me. I just don't think he thought that's where this train was going to end, which is why I think he was excited about the idea that it could be Dan Hurley.
I think he hit the nail right on the head, Mike. I think he nailed it. A lot of people think just because LeBron and JJ have the relationship with the podcast, this is what LeBron wanted. I'm hearing a lot of that today. But if you go to what Rich Paul said yesterday as well, this was yesterday, he said, kind of reference to the Bronny point of it, LeBron is off the idea of playing with Bronny. Paul told ESPN on Wednesday. And, excuse me. He also went on to say in the thing as well that, just because if they drafted Bronny at 55, doesn't mean LeBron will re-sign, as it says right there. And he said if that was the case, I would force them to take him at 17. We don't need leverage. The Lakers can draft Bronny, and LeBron doesn't re-sign. LeBron is not going to Phoenix for a minimum deal. We could squash that now. And then it goes on to talk about, too, how Bronny has connection with the Mavericks GM, Nico Harrison, who's a former Nike employee. So there's a connection there, obviously. And as Rich mentioned, he said Nico's like an uncle to Bronny. So I don't think, Mike, JJ Redick being hired, and I said this last week, too, if you remember on our show and our live, I screamed it on the air. I said, just because they hired JJ Redick does not mean LeBron's going back to L.A. And I think what Rich Paul said yesterday, I think you're right. I think what he just said, Nick Wright, from the LeBron aspect of it, I think what you said in the beginning of the show from the Lakers side of it, too, this seems like a desperate move to try to keep LeBron in L.A. It's almost like they're selling out to try to keep LeBron there.
Yeah, it seems like a really unsure bet, and I guess from their perspective, it's easier to move off of coaches than anything else in professional sports. But I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like the Lakers, I'm a Lakers hater. For everyone out there, if you haven't been able to tell, I don't like the Lakers. I don't like them as a franchise. I respect Shaq and Kobe because they're two of the best to ever do it, and Magic and Kareem, all those guys. But like, I I just they've been such a horribly run organization.
Yeah,
For, it seems like the past 10 years.
and they're on the same level as Boston from not only on the floor but off the floor. I mean, look at
Yeah.
They're rival right now, the Celtics, who just got one more banner on them. They're not even on the same level. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
could squash. It's like he squashed the LeBron going to Phoenix. We could squash that too. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, like, they've just been such a horribly run organization for the past 10 years. And nothing they do surprises me, but it continues to disappoint. I don't know if this is like a bid because JJ Redick is like a public figure. Like, part of me starts to think, like, is this even about the basketball? Are they worried about like money if and when LeBron leaves, if and when AD leaves? Is this even about the basketball, or is it like, oh, JJ Redick has a podcast, he's a public figure now, people know him, it'll get people in the seats and it'll still have people watching us?
I give him interest.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? And what have I been saying? You remember, they're very fearful of LeBron leaving in LA because he generates them so much money in the last 6 years.
Well, yeah,
they're
because
not the richest
after Kobe left, they were a train wreck. I mean, even the last couple of years that were before Kobe retired, they weren't exactly like exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was fun to go watch Kobe, but like at the end of the day, like they weren't a good team.
Kobe didn't have no AD. Kobe didn't have any of these kind of players.
Yeah, they didn't have it. They weren't a good team. They didn't make the playoffs. I think the last couple of years Kobe was there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Right.
But I just don't think they've been a very well-run team, and this just continues to like kind of show that. Like even with LeBron and AD, they've completely squandered all but 1 year of two of the most talented basketball players in the league. They've squandered 4 out of the 5 years that LeBron's been there.
6. Well, no, it's been 5 out of the 6, really.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's been there 6 years. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's my whole point. This whole thing, from a basketball standpoint, this LA LeBron experiment, it's been a failure. People could say, "What do you mean they won a championship?" Number one, I mean, I get it, but you're expected to be competitive each and every year. Well, they sold us on this whole thing when he went out there. There was going to be this grand thing. You know, they're going to have this dynasty out there in LA. It's going to be Showtime's back and all this. They won the brain in the bubble. After a 3-month layoff, they haven't been able to actually put a full season together where it's like from the beginning of the season to the end, there's no drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's never been, the whole time he's been there, it's just been an absolute just up and down. I mean,
there was the season they went to. Was that last season that they went to the Western Conference Finals, or was that the season before?
The season before, and they had to revamp the whole roster in the middle of the season and traded every piece they had.
Right,
and it worked. I mean, they got to the Western Conference Final, but then they got swept.
Right. They lost. Was that Phoenix?
Denver.
That's right.
And they did lose. They lost to Phoenix in 21. They didn't make the playoffs in 22. They were horrible with Westbrook. Weren't even a play-in team. And then the year after, they make it to the Western Conference Finals, swept. And then this year, first round exit, losing 5, basically gentleman's sweep. So,
and here's the thing: we all expected them to continue to be bad. Like, it is amazing. Like the Heat and the Cavs, no matter what you want to say about the Heat years of LeBron, like as a Cavs fan, we're bitter about it. But other than LeBron and his rookie stint with the Cavs, before like Dan Gilbert really figured it out, like the Heat and the Cavs showed you the blueprint of how to utilize LeBron and how to get him players and how to bolster your team, and you got him AD and nothing else.
Yeah, not only that, how to have the proper coach in place, how to run you know what I mean, just all of it. But they haven't been able to do that out there. And no, I think LeBron, to be honest, I think when he went to LA, basketball is not the number one priority. And I think it's always been that way. Not that it
Yeah.
hasn't been, but it wasn't the first priority going to LA, was basketball. So I do think his mindset's been different being out there. Just, you know, I mean, I don't think he's been as there was just a different LeBron when he was in Miami and Cleveland. You could just see it in the mind. You know what I mean? You could just see it, just the way he played, just the night to night attitude. Just it's been way different in LA. But this hire now, JJ, right? Like I said, I don't think it guarantees he comes back or he goes back to LA. I don't think it guarantees that at all. I think what you said is right too. You know, if you're worried about LeBron leaving, JJ Redick being a first-time head coach still gives you attention. It's still a storyline. It's still you're the Lakers still. It still gives you that kind of like you said, that buzz. So that could have been an aspect of it too, where they're kind of like, hey, you know what? It could lure LeBron back, but you know what? It also still gives us something. We're still a headline next year. We're still gonna be in primetime games. Everybody wants to see what this is gonna look like. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Now, how he does with Anthony Davis if LeBron leaves, that's a whole other thing because he left AD off his all defensive teams.
Yeah.
But I think what Kendrick Perkins said today once this got announced, I think he was right as well. What he said, I'll give it till the All-Star break to see if AD requests a trade or not. I think Kendrick was right, but I don't know, man. I just can't. I'm kind of surprised they actually did it. I mean, I'm not surprised they did it, but to see them actually do it, it's kind of like it could go down as one of the craziest hires in sports history.
Right. It kind of reminds me of the Urban Meyer hire in the NFL. Like people, it's all a buzz. People are like,
this one's. I get what you're, but this one's unique because this guy is literally a YouTube podcaster like you and I, and he's walking into the Lakers job.
Right.
I mean, that's like never been seen anywhere. I mean, it's like your profession. You used to work with my dad in the car business. It's like if a guy came in off the street and walked right up to the desk, Mike, and took the job with no experience. Would it ever happen?
Yes. It happened with me.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, no, I meant like took the job behind the desk.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's like if somebody walked out the street with no experience in cars ever, just said, you know, let me get the job, and they gave it to him. It'd be an absolute train wreck.
Right.
But you know, I don't know, man. So what do you think? What's your percentage now of LeBron staying in LA or leaving? What percentage you got on that?
I'm still gonna stick to the close. I still think it's like 60% that he's leaving.
Really, 60%?
Yeah, I was almost certain he was leaving. I just don't know where he's gonna go.
I'm gonna say. I think I said 55% the other day we came on. I don't know. It's weird because I just don't know. It's hard. I can't really get a read on what he really wants to do. He says he still wants to win, you know, and but if it is true that he is connected to pushing the Lakers to hire JJ Redick, which I don't think he is. I think that's more the Lakers trying to keep him. So I think Rich Paul's comments yesterday to me saying that they can draft Bronny and it doesn't mean he'll re-sign. Could that have been Rich Paul putting pressure on the Lakers to hire JJ Redick? Possibly. That's one way to look at it. But I think it's more of them just kind of cleaning their hands and saying, you know, hey, you take him, great, but if you don't act like we're going to come back either. I just can't get over him going to the Cavs game, Mike. I really can't. Before he went to that game, Mike, and sat courtside, I was kind of like, it's about a 40-50% chance. You know what I mean? You and I talked about it on the phone. We're like, maybe, maybe not, but who cares?
Yeah.
But ever since he sat courtside of that damn game, I just think it's a signal. I think it's calculated. Everything he does is calculated. I mean, why would he go on a Monday night and sit courtside at a Cavs game? I mean, what, just for the hell of it? Because he wanted to go drink some wine? I mean, I just don't. And watch the basketball.
LeBron is a big wine drinker. He does like his wine.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think he really needed to go to the game on that Wednesday night with his agent and wife and, you know, or Monday night and watch basketball? I know. So I'm going to say 60% like you. I'm going to say 60% he's leaving. And I still think if he does leave, I think he ends up in Cleveland because I think he needs to go back east, and I think it's probably going to be a sign and trade deal. But speaking of the Cavs, though, Mike, they have not hired a head coach yet. It's 1 week away from the draft, or no, less than 6 days away from the draft. Draft starts next Wednesday night.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a 2-night
Comes
event
up
now.
fast.
I know. So right now, Mike, a lot of people think James Borrego is going to be he's the alleged lead assistant. Although there was a rumor yesterday that I texted you about and I heard on the radio, and I think does have some traction. Who they interviewed, Chris Quinn, and there is a rumor right now that Donovan Mitchell, who's mentored by Dwayne Wade, has spoken to Dwayne Wade, and that Dwayne Wade is pushing Donovan to tell the Cavs to hire Chris Quinn. So, excuse me, I had to sneeze. So,
oh, bless you.
Thank you.
I was like, oh, we lost him.
No, I didn't want you guys to hear. But anyways, so I think it's Chris Quinn, and now Monty Williams is available, Mike, who was fired by Detroit yesterday, and he's getting $65 million for being fired.
Detroit doing Detroit things.
Yeah, and I like Monty Williams. I know some people said, well, he's been fired the last 2 gigs. I think he got the raw deal in Phoenix. He walked into a lot of divas, if I'm just being honest, on his team. And you could have put anybody. You could put Phil Jackson in his prime as the coach in Detroit last year, and they probably won 14 games. They were that bad. You need talent in this league to win. I mean, the coach, he can't go out there and dribble the ball and shoot for him. So, I think Monty Williams is still a really good coach. I think when Monty had a team in 21 where it was no ego and it was a lot of guys bought in, and guys, you know what I mean, the pressure wasn't as high, and when you add like a KD and stuff like that, they made all the way to the NBA Finals. So, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. And so the Cavs were rumored back in 2019, Mike, before he took the Suns job, LeBron wanted him with the Lakers. It was him or Ty Lue LeBron wanted. But the Cavs also were interested in him as well. And then Dan Gilbert and the Cavs, they were really interested in Monty Williams back then as well. And so now he's in the mix as well. And so I do think the Cavs need to get a coach before the draft. You don't have to, but I think you preferably want to, which is also why I think the Lakers rushed too, if I'm being honest. But so I'm going to say Borrego or Chris Quinn. I don't know how much you studied on either of them, but what's your thoughts on the head coach? Who do you think?
I mean, I've listened to a little bit. I'd be happy with any of those names. I don't think. I mean, they're.
Do you think? Let me ask you this, not to cut you off. If they hire James Borrego, would that lure LeBron back? James Borrego.
I mean,
he's a Popovich apprentice.
Right.
I don't know the connect. I know AD wanted James Borrego because him and AD have a connection from New Orleans. But I feel like if you're going to go the LeBron route, I wonder if the Chris Quinn route pleases everybody. He pleases Donovan. He pleases LeBron. You've heard what Udonis Haslem said about Chris Quinn and LeBron. And I think Chris Quinn kind of gives you that. He's put his time in a great organization in Miami. He's a former player. He's from Ohio. He's from down in the Dublin area. Was a legendary basketball player, high school basketball player in Ohio too. Go look it up. But I feel like Chris Quinn would be more of that route. So I'm curious, what do you think on that?
I mean, I'd probably be just happy with either name. I'm more interested to see what Donovan Mitchell's contract's going to look like and how the team's actually going to shake out. I'd be happy with either or. I feel like whoever they hire is going to be a pretty decent fit.
I like James Borrego. Beginning of this process, I said Chris Quinn off the bat. You know, I like Chris Quinn a lot. I like the Miami style. I like his connection to LeBron and Donovan, obviously now through D Wade. And I just think Chris Quinn's going to be a great coach in this league. I think he's got all the fixings to be a great next head coach, and he's younger too. But I like James Borrego too. I think James Borrego got the raw deal in Charlotte. I mean, that's not a great place for any coach to go. So, but I like James Borrego. I like some of the system he would run with the guards and a lot of the cutting and a lot of the off-ball movement. I think he could utilize Evan Mobley's true skill set a lot more too, put him more at the pinch post and utilize him more as a playmaker. So I wouldn't be mad if they hired James Borrego. I just think if they hire James Borrego, I don't know. I mean, I've been looking at it. I don't know if that means they're trying to go after LeBron or they have an idea or does LeBron care? I mean, I don't know because I feel like the Chris Quinn route, like Udonis Haslam said, might be more of the LeBron route. So, and I say all that because this has taken a long time. I mean, it took the Lakers almost 4 weeks today to finally hire JJ Redick, who they said 4 weeks ago he was the first name brought up, and it took him like a month to figure it out. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? Which tells me it was a desperate move by them that they're panicking. They're in panic mode, I think, out there in LA. And so, but the Cavs, though, I think are not in panic mode. I think the Cavs are in a we got a plan mode, and and there's nobody really knows what's going on publicly.
Right. Yeah, I think that's more so with the Cavs. Like, and also
they have an idea. You know what I mean?
And also, the Cavs' job is a better job if you're a coach.
10 out of 10. It's the best job available right now, even with the Lakers job open.
Right. Like, if you're a coach that wants
that.
a little bit more job security and you want to teach, like, we have the mixing of everything. We have the, seasoned superstar player, decent bench, really good rising stars, young team, but not too young.
Tradable assets.
Correct. Tradable assets.
In the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree because I think they know. I think they have an idea of what could happen, and I think that's why they're waiting. And I think too with this yesterday as well, people are going to say, "What do you think? What do they do in the draft? Right, the draft's next week. What do they do? Even they have a coach in place." Well, I don't think LeBron wants to play with Bron anymore. I think they've made that more clear in the last year than they did 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was more of I want to play with my son. I feel like in the last year, though, Rich Paul said yesterday, I heard LeBron say it again within this last season at times that it's not like a main priority now to play with his son. And so, and I think I don't blame him on that front because I think it's too much. I think it'd be too much pressure on his son to play with his dad. To be honest with you, wherever he is his first year. We kind of said on the show Cleveland would be the easiest spot for him, which it would, but it's still pressure. I mean, you're playing underneath your dad, and it's the constant storyline every night. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
Yeah.
I think Bronny ends up in Dallas personally. I've been saying that. I think he ends up in Dallas. I'm sticking with that. I really do think he's going to end up in Dallas. I think that's been in the workings for a while now. And Rich Paul, I think, kind of gave it away a little bit yesterday too. What they would like with Bronny, putting him somewhere where he's going to get a guaranteed deal. Right? He doesn't want a two-way deal, so you're not taking him at 55. But if you do take him at 55, you better give him a full contract. Well, just like Rich said here in this part of the article, Mike, right there at the bottom, Nico Harrison is like an uncle to Bronny. I'm sure he'll take care of Bronny then if they're that close. He was a GM of the Mavs. So I think Bronny ends up in Dallas, and I think LeBron now has the opportunity to go chase another ring on the way out, and which is why I've always called this LeBron's last dance and why I framed it that, similar to Michael Jordan's last dance. With the Chicago Bulls in '98, it was the last run at a title, and they got it done. And I think this is LeBron's last dance and his chance to really go out on top. And not only that, like we said last week, if LeBron wins one more title at age 40, what could that really do for his already great legacy? I mean, you're talking now the Tom Brady type argument, Michael Jordan type. You know what I mean? He's in that era now where he could possibly surpass people with that fifth ring at 40 years old. Well, the best way to get that ring is in the Eastern Conference. And the best way I think you can really maximize that and have a real story beginning to it, I think it's back home in Cleveland again. I mean, that's my opinion, but your thoughts?
No, I agree. It would definitely be a great ending to his career. I think honestly, we have the better team between places that he'd want to go. I don't know if he'd want to stay out west with like how good the other teams are getting around him. I mean, OKC is going to be a force, and they're only going to get more experience. Minnesota's scary.
Dallas has got experience now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. I mean, there's so many young. I mean, OKC just made a trade. They just acquired Alex Caruso, got rid of the pervert. So
the Giddler.
Yeah, the Giddler. Well, I shouldn't say pervert, but you know what I mean. Allegedly. Allegedly.
It's not alleged. It's a fact.
What do you think? Hey, off topic real quick. What do you think of the Bill Belichick thing?
Oh my god, dirty old bastard is what I think he is.
I'm just sorry. I'm gonna say it off the rip. I've seen some people defending that, the whole age gap thing and all that, and that Bill.
That shit's gross, dude.
I'm sorry. That is disgusting. I if this is where our society. This is off topic rip, Mike. We might get off the rails here. I'm sorry. We live in a weirdo society now where this stuff like that is acceptable. Was he married too? And they seems like they had like a little thing on the side too, and he was still married too.
I have no clue.
That's what it seems like. He got caught on the Ring camera too. Now we know why. Now we all know what that was now, which is kind of what we suspected. But I'm just sorry. That's some weirdo shit. I just can't get behind the dog. That's just weird.
Yeah, and she's obviously only with him for the money. Like, I don't know how you're an old dude.
She's your typical 24-year-old girl, and I'm 24, but you know how they are nowadays.
Yeah.
Not all, but a lot of them. A lot of you out there are just trying to front for the internet, trying to get the likes and the tweet and the status and the, I don't care. And some of these girls nowadays, Mike, they're ruthless. They don't care who they break, whatever home they break, who they have to step over to get it. Now it doesn't last long. I mean, imagine what those dinner conversations are. Like, hey, honey, why don't you tell me what it's like living through the Vietnam War? And she's 24. Like, by the time she's 40, Bill could be, 90 something, maybe on his way out of here. I mean, that's just weird to me. I'm sorry, but
no, that shit's gross, dude. It's any normal person thinks that shit's gross.
Yeah, like, stop it, dude. Like you and her too. She's weird. Both of them are in the same. She's gross and he's gross. I mean, I'm more disappointed in her, to be honest with you, because I'm kind of like, what are you doing? You're not a half bad looking girl. Like, why don't you go out and try to get somebody else that's a little younger? You know what I mean? Like, you're that desperate to be like in the spotlight.
It's the money too.
That's what I'm saying. It's because of who he is. That's why, you know what I mean? And the buzz it's getting right now is exactly what she wanted. And him, I don't know. He must be I don't know what's wrong with Bill. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, back to the main topic.
Main topic.
The less is loaded. And if I'm LeBron, I mean, I'm being honest, and Mike, if he goes back to the Lakers, I just it's a sad ending. I think it's a wasted opportunity. It could be a depressing ending to an all-time great career.
Yeah, no.
You want to go out like, I mean, Kobe went out and I respect Kobe. He didn't leave the organization, and he didn't really have to make anything to prove at that point. He already had 5 rings. It's still different than LeBron. But I mean, do you want to go out like that, where, you know what I mean? It's like somber, no playoffs. You're barely making it to play in. Or do you want to go out like Jordan and match Jordan's like his last dance? I mean, like have that kind of moment. I mean, why not?
Right. No. Yeah, exactly. He has an opportunity and he can go wherever he wants. So here's hoping he makes.
If he goes back to the Lakers, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed because I'm like, man, you really had an opportunity here, but also, man, it would be great entertainment for. I'm gonna be honest. That next year, if LeBron goes back to the Lakers, Mike, and JJ Redick's the head coach, can you imagine the entertainment and the circus that'll be next year?
Oh, the chicanery. Oh, it'll be great.
Oh my gosh, it will be one of the funniest things you've ever watched. It'll be how long till JJ gets fired? When's LeBron going to get tapped out of when's he going to check out of the season? Like, I just don't see that working at all. When's AD going to ask?
I feel like LeBron's always checked. I never saw a LeBron interview when he was in LA where he didn't seem like checked out. I remember there was one where they were asking him questions after a loss, and he was like, "Look, I'm not focused on none of that. My Browns are in town. I'm gonna go watch my Browns play."
Yeah. He's at the game watching the Browns.
Yeah, and he said in the interview, he's like, "I'm not going to think about basketball." He's like, "I don't want to talk about basketball. Browns are in town. I'm going to go watch the game. Just going to, unplug." And I was like, "God damn." LeBron
what's funny, too, is I forgot to put this on the thing, is I came across this again yesterday, is remember when they had the All-Star break here, the 75 greatest in 2022, and he was up there talking, right? In the that weekend to the media. and he was talking about he got asked about the Cavs. Remember that time the Cavs were like really getting in their zone. They were becoming like a team now, like a
Yeah.
They were buzzing. They had 2 All-Stars and Garland and Allen, and Mobley's rookie year. He was playing well, and they were really hot at the time. And he got asked about it, and he was said, they got a great players and blah blah blah. And so I got the thing. Let me pull it up right here. I forgot to add this too, and this is something else he said, Mike. Since like you said, since he's been out there, he said they've got 2 All-Stars in their of their own in the game, DG and big fella Jared Allen, and they've got another guy, an All-Star, and that's me. And I remember when I saw that back then too, I was like, dude, you play for the Lakers. Like he said they got 2 All-Stars and DG and big fella Jared Allen, and he said they got another guy at All-Star, and that's me. And I remember I saw that, I was like, wow, this dude, like,
in his mind, LeBron never left Cleveland.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just I just feel like it's got to circle back, right? I mean, it only makes sense. And I don't know. And I'll say this too. I expect Donovan Mitchell to be signed very soon. I think it's going to be a 2.
I mean, we all know
it's going to
Donovan Mitchell ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere. It's been done for a while. I'll just put that out. It's been done for a while. He was over in Europe vacation. I think he just got back last night, or he's on his way back soon. So it's going to be a 4-year Prior Brown. I think they give him max 208. So, and he's probably going to have a player option as last year from my read. I think it's going to be a 4-year, about $208 million contract. The 4th year to be a player option. I think once that gets signed, Mike, I think that's when the LeBron, possibly back to Cleveland buzz, will take off on the mainstream.
I certainly hope so.
I think that's where I think that's where it could be heading. Has LeBron even said anything today in reaction to the JJ Redick thing? I don't think he has.
No, I don't think he has.
Yeah, I mean, he would have said something by now.
He's incognito in the offseason. It's hard to get a hold of him.
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, he's using the free agency poise. You know what I mean? He's using that free agency. He's acted as a free agent. You know what I mean? So I find that interesting. You know what I mean? I feel like if he was going to stay, if he was all in on the JJ thing, I think we would hear something like tonight. If we don't hear anything about it tonight from LeBron's camp, then I'm a little more of those eyes open. You know what I mean? So what's that emoji with the eyes looking to the side? You know?
Oh
yeah, I got more of that. But I do expect Donovan to re-sign. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be about a 4-year, 208 from what it sounds like with a player option. I think once he signs, that's when I think stuff's really going to start to unravel. I think you'll start to hear more rumors, possibly who could get traded, who could they acquire, blah blah blah, and all that. So I do think it's going to heat up more in the next week.
It's going to get
especially
hot
with the draft.
People.
That's my opinion on all this. But I cover more of the NBA stuff. Mike, you are Michael K. Cabot. No disrespect.
I am the NFL.
No disrespect to the GOAT, Mary Kay Cabot. We respect Mary Kay Cabot.
She's the greatest of all time.
She deserves a lot of respect. She's been around a long time, done some great work. But for joking reason, we call him Michael K. Cabot. Mike, I got to ask you, Amari Cooper, still not signed yet. I think we were right about the years thing. It's definitely a years thing. But there's also been a rumor, Mike. I just got to get your take on it. Brandon Ayuk is also, he made it. Well, he posted the video. I'm out. So they don't want me back, he said. Would you trade Amari Cooper for Brandon Ayuk?
And I've had a couple conversations about this, and I really do think it would be a lateral move. I don't think it would be a bad thing. I think Amari Cooper's a little bit better of a route runner. I think Brandon Ayuk is much better at yards after the catch. And you're going to have that with Brandon because he's just younger all around. I think he's a little bit faster as well. I think it would be a pretty lateral move. I think the Browns would actually like that a little bit more. They like to stay as young as possible, and they would give a contract, a sizable contract to a Brandon Ayuk because of the age. Him only, being, I think he's only 24.
Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, 24, 25, something like 26. That. 26.
He's about to enter his prime. Same age we acquired Odell, by the way.
Right. So I think they would, if something like that would materialize, but I don't know how realistic it is. It's one of those things where it's like you could do that, but at the end of the day, oh,
you good?
there we go. At the end of the day, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
My thing cut out. But at the end of the day, you're going to be paying Brandon a lot more money than you would have paid Amari Cooper.
Right.
So it's just a matter of, would they be willing to do that because Brandon Ayuk is younger? It's kind of, that's what's up in the air. Do the Browns have the assets and the capability to get Brandon Ayuk if they wanted to?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But would they be willing to pay that much more money for him? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I may cut you off a bit, but what do you think that contract's going to look like if whoever signs him, whoever gets him, whether it's the 49ers, the Browns, somebody, what do you think his contract's going to be compared to
it's certainly going to be at least $30 million a year. At least
30. See, with Amari, you're looking at 25 to 30.
Right. I think you could get Amari for 23 to 25 a year. But Brandon, it's definitely going to be $30 million a year. I also think the guarantees are going to be higher. You know, he's coming off of his best season, all-pro season. So he's going to command a ton of money no matter where he goes. And the guarantees are going to be significantly higher than an Amari Cooper contract would be.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if they can get it done, I would do it. I think because you get a 26-year-old guy entering his prime. I think if you can get it done, why not? But again, it's how much do you have to pay him? I mean, that is something because you got to pay JOK. You cannot let him walk. You know, so another thing too is if you can get Amari to sign that 25 to 30 mil for 2 years, 3 years, well, you would like to have it. You got your first round pick back next year too. So and the receivers are coming out of the draft. I mean, I know some people. We were talking earlier on the phone. You think maybe this year could be a week. I think it's too early to tell because I think it's just way too far out. You got to let the season play out.
Right.
But I get you. But the way the receivers are nowadays, Mike, and the way you look at the past 5 years, I think you can get somebody in the first round who can be a starter at least. So and I think that with that first round pick back now, it kind of gives them a little flexibility because the hit rate of guys being drafted in the first round, as long as you hit on the pick as a receiver, they're coming in and playing really well, most of them. So
I agree.
A lot of them are. So yeah, it's been interesting to see. I mean, when do you think we'll have from what you've read and stuff? What do you think this will all be resolved with Amari? What do you think they'd like to have it done by?
They're gonna have it something done or something at least figured out by training camp. So they're going to want to do that before training camp because because Amari's camp has already made it clear that they will hold out through training camp if they have to. They don't want to, but they will. And if that's the case, we're going on to a really important year for the Browns. This is a kind of a make it or break it year for Deshaun. So he's going to want his number one receiver there. So they're going to want to get something figured out before training camp. And we are vastly approaching that. I think at this point, we're less than a month away.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. My gosh, yeah, we are. And it's crazy how fast everything just goes by.
Yeah, I wish the summer would go by faster. So
I'm sure you do. Man, I don't know. Has any other news you've heard this week? I mean, anything interesting to you? Obviously, I saw they cut the guy today. They got the DUI last night, but I don't know. I never heard of that guy. What was that guy's name? They got
Lonnie Phelps.
Yeah, I never heard of him, but they cut him. So, yeah. Anyways, what are you anticipating in training camp? I mean, what are you gonna be looking out for? I mean, we previewed a little bit. We got a little time here, so
yeah.
What else we got a special guest cut up here in a second too, so I'm trying to wait for him to come up here. But
I'm actually going to have to hop out right after I give my quick take.
Well, you got to stay. You got to at least say hi to the special. He's coming up just especially for you.
I'll say hi right quick.
But I want to. What are you looking forward to? Looking ahead to training camp. I mean, what are you going to be looking forward to leading up to it and during? I mean, what are you looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to how the offense is going to be changing. We've saw little tidbits, but we're going to get like a really good idea on what the offense is going to look like. Obviously, in training camp, that's the most exciting thing I think everybody's looking forward to. Another thing is really excited to see.
Hey, Michael.
Oh
Yes.
Mike,
Yeah.
we got
Hey,
Steve.
Mike, how you
Steve.
doing, man? How you doing, bud?
What's up?
How you doing? The weather is crazy, isn't it?
Always.
Dude, I'm afraid of these tornadoes.
Yeah.
This is Steve Connors, Mike, joining us. Steve, how are you?
I'm doing well. I see Mike sitting here, and I just wanted to join him.
Oh, okay. You want to say something, Mike? Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, bud?
I'm alive.
Good, good. What you guys talking about?
Football.
Oh, yeah. We should talk about the weather. I think we got a tornado coming.
A what?
A tornado.
Ain't no damn tornado coming. What? Who the hell?
Dude, if you look outside.
Look outside. Why don't you go outside? You might melt to the concrete.
Oh, my goodness. Is that hot?
Yeah, it's sweltered outside.
Dude, this is when, when you get the cold fronts coming in and it gets hot. That's when tornadoes come.
Do you watch football?
What's football?
You don't watch football?
I played flag football.
Oh, you play flag football.
Yeah.
Mike, you know who this is?
No idea.
No idea. I don't know either. Oh. What's going on, Mike? What has happened?
I'm trying to get my car. There's a tornado coming.
Are you in Ohio?
No, I'm in Oklahoma.
Well, no shit. There's a tornado coming. You're in Oklahoma.
Oh my God. Oh, is this Mike? Mike Antonace, right? Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, what's going on?
We went to
I have
high
no
school.
idea. Oh, dude, I don't remember high school at all.
Dude, I hate this weather. Just hate it.
I don't remember jack versus shit of high school.
You don't know Steve Connors?
No.
Oh, all right, he left. All right.
Can't say that I do.
I think Steve Connors is a Bengals fan, Mike. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh my God, is that Owensby?
Dude, he was dying to call in just to mess with you.
So that's who's been texting me. I was like, this is Steve, and I was like, I don't remember a Steve. I was like, how many Steves do I know? I was just trying to think of it. He keeps texting me, and I just keep ignoring it.
Oh man, Steve, it's Steve.
I was like, Steve.
We'll see if he jumps back on as Brandon in a second.
But, well, beautiful people, I have to sign off.
Well, I mean, Mike, we'll just go ahead and sign off. But, oh yeah, you were finished making your point. What are you looking forward to?
Oh yeah, sorry, I got derailed.
Steve jumped in.
Yeah,
I mean,
Steve.
Kind of threw me off. I was like, what?
I'm mad confused. I'm glad that I know who's been texting me now, though. I thought I was. Anyway. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see how offense is changing. How they're going to be using Jerry Jeudy in the offense, where he's going to be lining up. Kind of excited to see what Cedric Tillman's role is kind of going to be in year 2, how much he's learned. Also see how much playing time in the rotation, obviously our second round pick Michael Hall is getting, as well as any new wrinkles in the defense. But the biggest thing I'm interested to seeing is just this new kickoff rule and really getting to like sink my teeth into it and see what it looks like on paper. Because I really think we're going to just see it kind of explode at first with all the shenanigans that are going to be in it with the new rule.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see. I can't wait to see the offense, see what it looks like, just especially when they get in the scrimmages and stuff. You know what I mean? When they get in the live practice reps and stuff, when they do like the are they doing a joint practice with some? Did they announce who that's
with the
Vikings
this year?
Vikings, yeah. So I mean, I can't wait to see that. That's going to really be the first like real like test where you see who they are. So or what it's going to look like, because you're going against a different team and stuff. So, but I think with this offense, though, the advantage they'll have is working all this new stuff in and Sean coming back. Every day in practice, they're going against one of the better defenses in the league. So,
right.
I think that's going to help them tremendously. But yeah, I think we should see what happens. I don't know about Owensby Bengals, Mike. What do you got something to say to Owensby about his Bengals?
7-10 at best.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, there is no tornado coming here, folks, but I don't know. Mike, you got anything else you want to say? You want to tell me to like, subscribe, and share, Mike?
You need to like, subscribe, and share because it helps us out. And if you like us enough to help us out, that would be great.
You got something else you want to say to Lakers fans again, too? I remember you went on that great rant. You got something else you want to tell them or anybody?
No, they're dying. I'm gonna let them. Just
let them cook.
I'm gonna let them permeate for a little bit.
Let them permeate. All right. Let them sear. Go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta sear that for a little bit.
Right.
Come training camp, I'm gonna have a lot of rants, I'm sure. But
yeah, you'll be locked and loaded this year.
Oh, dude, you have no idea.
How about the Guardians too? 8 little.
Just won the series against the Marlins.
Yeah,
let's go Guards.
Like, I'm in the game. I'm watching the shit now. I'm back. I'm back watching baseball.
I'm back.
That's what I watch every night, but I am watching now because you know why? Because I ain't shit else to watch right now. So
there is not, and this team I really think could go relatively far.
No, this team's really good. It's funny. I was sitting there at lunch today with my uncle. We were out, and he was talking about it too because he's been watching from the beginning of the season to now, like yourself, and he's really excited, man. He's really in. I mean, a lot of fans are really into this team right now. I see a lot more Guardians gear when I'm out everywhere. I was at the Sheets by your house the other night, and I saw 2 people walking in with Guardians gear on, like older guys, and so I'm like, all right. You could tell you could tell when the fan base is into it or not. And this team, though, they're really good. They got a chance. I mean, Mr. Kwan, my uncle loves Stephen Kwan. I like this team.
One.
I will say that watching baseball now, I'm just watching like the new, like the speed when they pitch, how fast the pitch comes out now between like each pitch. You know what I mean? How they speed it up. Yeah. That is something to watch, and it is different than what I was used to watching last time I was really like into it. So,
it makes it so much better in my opinion.
Yeah, I do like it better. And the game I watched the other night, I've turned it on, the Mariners game, and I watched the Mariners pitcher hit back-to-back batters, hit 2 of them. I said, all righty. So I'm back watching baseball. But anyways, yeah, like, subscribe, share all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys next one. Maybe the Cavs will have a head coach by then. We'll let you know. So
who knows? Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So we'll see you guys next one. We're out of here. I'm saluting, Mike.
I'm saluting as well.
All right.
Later.